Welcome everyone to more live Linux work here on our channel. Next generation scalable open enterprise Linux platform and other amazing marketing stuff. As the previous video there on the main channel, firmware, right? Linux firmware. We do that in a second. Where was 14? 14. There we have just slightly more. What do we even grab here? 14.0. Yeah, and then we probably want to watch the other video first. I wonder, the firmware is getting that large. I wonder if we should only ship what we actually use by default. Something like that. Potentially, especially for the RISC platforms, it's vintage and retro SCSI drives are not that large. But also to netbooks and last year's netbooks and stuff, playing along at home. So field 1, 2, 3, is it 5? IP to update P to 14, allegedly some update there. Let's see how that goes. So the crazy thing is it will take quite some seconds to scan all the firmware. So what we actually would have to do is for all modules, like find KO wired module, so do what info and there was some field thing, let's see, info, not info, F field for, let's see, this was a dash F, maybe, oh, you see, yeah, okay, it doesn't take that long, that certainly is survivable. Oh, epic thread ripping here, lines of that, yeah, 1760. I mean, so we could actually, you know what would actually be interesting to scan whether we even have this firmware. Did I not move it? I mean, I don't really move it, right? Did I? Oh, anyway. Let's for in X do you even see that? Mostly, yeah. Sort of. It's at the edge of the screen. That's what it is. Actually, there are quite some files we don't even have. So maybe that is crazy. That is so this also means that those modules wouldn't even work, right? So this, as I mentioned in the other video, I expected Broadcom Wi-Fi. I didn't expect those here. 6Fire, it sounds a little bit sound. Also like 2.1 or something. I really hate this 3 directions. This sounds a little bit. Right, because we have. No, wait, what have I done? 4F in do word count? What do I even do here? Or is it? I have the feeling that is... Alright, because I had that there, so that is why ls. 2 and 1, let's see if that... No such, let's maybe... Yeah, so this is Broadcom I mentioned, I was aware of that. Marvel... That is, of course, wireless. You see this already from the stationary there. UAP, it's probably, yeah, Marvel. Anyway, additionally, interesting. There's, although to be fair, this might be, you know, let's install the latest. To be fair, I probably don't have the latest Linux firmware installed. But yes, Linux kernel, of course, has drivers from reverse engineered reverse engineering folks that don't have redistributable firmware, as I mentioned on the more main channel. We probably want to test build that, don't we? So those are two main packages we usually build here. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. I did this wrong. Actually, I did this here inside this build, so this was actually the latest Linux. This was pointless what I did there, I think. Yeah, so that also means these modules we distribute don't even work. I slightly wonder why would Yellow Car, Van Gogh, did they not yet publish that? Maybe it could be that this is so new GPU silicon that they simply didn't publish that yet. We would be more interested in this. Okay, here's also Sienna Chiclet Navi 10. Really slightly surprised by those there. Grab no such file. Yeah, 351. Yeah, so when they already not distribute the Linux kernel firmware, then probably there's a good reason. Like, by the vendor's license not allowed to redistribute. We just pick up. Yeah, we have actually some Broadcom packages. I'm slightly surprised by some firmware I see there. Anyway, so what we would need to do now is creating a negative list or positive list. I would be should we pre-test this? So that should be all the firmwares here, 834. I mean, we could, you know what, maybe let's proof of concept see how much we would save if it's even worth to implement properly. So, wait, so this file X has, where's my X file? Here's my X file, okay. Let's maybe find type file. Okay, this is unfortunately with. We can substitute that away. Substitute leading dot slash away. What is it? Substitute. And then actually theoretically we could. Where's it? No. Okay. While f2 grab quite and let's grab exactly that file in beginning end of that in X or what have I done here? Does that make sense? Microchip. Grab that looks good though. So we have 1200. It's of course not the most. Actually, this is half of the firmware. It's sort of expected. Let's we grab that, does it? I'm slightly surprised that there is some. Okay, this Mellanox, that makes sense. I've seen this before. Also, this is super large firmware. This Mellanox stuff is 45 megabyte uncompressed. I saw that before. Yeah, Mediatek also makes sense. So, for example, I mean, it sort of makes sense, right? I mean, some of the stuff you could argue if we filter the firmware, then the next time. Oh, why do I even have to? Next time. Oh, darn. Why does nobody tell me that I don't have the microphone on me? What a YouTube fail. I hope that was somewhat hearable. So you could argue that you then miss your important firmware, but some of the stuff we will never have, like our Mediatek. So it certainly makes no sense to install Mediatek stuff on x86 Linux, or even Mediatek stuff if you run Apple Silicon stuff or Raspberry Pi stuff. Mediatek stuff there. I'm only wondering that looks. I mean, we could like delete that. I mean, this is. So if we grab quite that stuff, or let's see, removed. I mean, there's quite some NVIDIA stuff. So okay, so this. I mean, it actually makes sense. I mean, we would need to double, triple, and check. I mean, that is certainly a nice reduction. I wonder how other Linux distributions are doing that. I think this would make sense. Let's see how we could implement that in this Linux firmware package. Did I extract it already? How do we install that Linux firmware? How easy we can delete it? I would, not only would, we should. We install this with simply make install desti. Okay. Why do we need this to? Should this not always be there? Why do we need this? Was there a particular reason? Should it not? Shouldn't it by default? Why do we have that? Shouldn't always, or is it? Maybe. No, actually, I don't really quite see a reason why that is there. Why would that be there? Let's try without that though. Yeah, but that's what it takes to make the best Linux distribution, right? Attention to detail, and when you eventually realize, wait a second, that looks a little bit much. Do we really need that? Then spending the extra efforts to change it. So how does it work in check whence? Geode group stuff, known file, git files, known file. Copy firmware, what does that do? Whence SED link, okay, they have a whence file. Okay, we could actually hook that up. In here, as this is shell script like T2, we could change that to grab this stuff. How does it grab file? Copying file, test. They even wait a second, they even test whether it is here. So the only thing is it includes some symlinks. Both mkdir copy, okay, it's a copy. But we also have link here, so test if grab sed read f. It's by the way similar to what I've just done live here on the command line, right? Oh, it looks like data just did this updates itself. Oh, interesting, it auto-deleted hotfix no oh. Yeah, this data bot is amazing. Did I recently mention that? If you're interested in other Linux, there are, by the way, some updates. I love this bot. Yeah, so we could easily patch that. We could grab. The only thing is kernel version number. But we could simply iterate over all, and if you have like 10, 20 old Linux kernel versions installed, then you get all of those. So yeah, this would be find like KO, was it? Apparently not in this one. And we call this simply installed, and then we grab also the installed file, so that would be find type, actually find name KO in lib modules. This is of course exceptional syntax because. Alright, I also have quite some installed, so then while read f do not info field firmware of f maybe even that, and then because this will be multiples, let's sort unique that into installed, as you might have multiple kernels there. And then we put this into the package. Very theoretically, we could make an option for that, whether you want all stuff or not. Actually, that takes a while. Alright, this, why does it take that long though? Drop frames. Are we not live over? How many drop frames? Freaking. Actually, the other video I was live streaming over LTE probably got another IP, and now this YouTube IP is not. Now you got the Voda fail experience. Maybe not the most important for this video. Cheers. Let's this road here for build x86 lib modules. Yeah, the amount of what find. Interesting. We need a. Why does this not media RC? What find? Yada yada KO. Keymaps? What? No, data is actually already done. Okay, fine, let's do it that way and then change it. How many drop frames do we? 1,300. Freaking Voda fair. Maybe for the. I have here too many. I have here 20 old kernels because, of course, I have. Did I sort that already? No. Sort unique. We put something like that into the T2 package. It's a little bit much though, but it should be fine, right? Root lib here. We only need actually, yeah, this is a little bit much for a one-liner, to be honest. We would need the cross, so that would be tools prefix. Do we have here one? Arch pref target. That probably, should we always have that? Can we dynamically need to check actually. We need the proper cross versus not cross. It is thought you installed. Has this a chance to work? Root lib modules name redef installed, and then we patch. Do we have to see installed? Yeah. ARM 3826 ARM. What the heck? This is what we have installed. Yeah, anyway. It was copy. Maybe we want to run this verbose. Okay, this doesn't have a verbose thing though. This check whence is okay. I'm slightly puzzled that it should have here some symlinks. I only wonder how this is supposed to work. Do we have symlinks installed? Also not modules, firmware. Oops. No, here are symlinks. Okay, they are somehow created. Did I overlook that somehow? What does prune know? Unneeded symlink detected link. Grab link. How does it work here? So copying file. Read FD. Test. Oh, wait a second. Is it? Here. It creates that. And that is why my coding stuff I said some videos ago. I usually like to have the short thing at the beginning, right? It's exactly the thing. You look at the large code block and then you don't realize that there's some other. So of course it doesn't exist yet. So then it creates that. I slightly wonder how many levels. I would hope there are no multiple levels of things. Anyway, so I guess we could in both loops then grab the link D to desdf, linking F to D. So we would need to grab for F here. In installed or continue, and the same here, F I guess that should also, we can use the quiet version here. Let's see if that works. How do you call this? Used only, installed only. Let's uninstall. I also think I have there some XOR. And let's build it and see what we get. Maybe verbose. Yeah, leave in the comments below. Is that a good idea? I mean, filtering out totally unusable stuff. I mean, the only thing is, you of course don't need ARM or other neural network accelerators when you don't have the drivers for that. The only thing is you later build a kernel with some module we didn't have, but yeah, I mean, you can always reinstall from source if you, I would say 99% of the time you probably shouldn't miss anything if we have done this right here. Let's see what we got. I think this massive size reduction could, yeah, 152, that looks about right, I would say. We could double check that though. Do we have symlinks? We have symlinks. We could double check that iterating we deleted the X one. Yeah. Field, let's do that again. Find here to X. Let's double check. This is also used firmware. Let's grab X type something. Grab, no, not grab. What did we had? X here, or find type, yeah, something like that. Find all of the firmware, grab whether it is used or grab this file. So we could used X, was it X? No, F, used F. Otherwise, echo used. Wait a second, used. Let's leave it like that, and then we. Okay, we only get here used. Let's save that to new. Grab used in new. Yeah, so we have only used firmware. That's exactly what we wanted. Let's disable that patch for a test, or do I have theoretically yeah, let's rebuild that, because why not? You see, double and triple testing, right? This is, I don't want people not being able to use T2 Linux in some days. Move used only to let's rebuild that and recheck that. And yeah, I mean, it took like how long? An hour of my time? But it's it avoids, I mean, this is a kind of attention to detail that I really miss otherwise from some other projects. I think it's not the most useless time wasted on random stuff, I would say, but leave in the comments below. So that should have some unused. We could diff that from all to new. Oh no, why is that? That somehow didn't install what we wanted for some reason. Did I not? Ah, wait, somehow, or what? Don't tell me we built for the wrong. Darn, probably built for the wrong, so this actually didn't actually work quite right. Did I really build for the wrong? Yeah, always fail here live on this channel. There was more. Yeah, I really built for the wrong target. Darn it. Okay, first the all thing. Let's do that again. But this is also why we double and triple check this stuff, right? This is testing, testing, more testing. Oops. Ugh. Ah, darn, I have this somehow apparently some... This works in principle, just my debug test is F versus X. So we could, I mean, yeah, you see also the scale. I mean, we could actually use that to double check whether we actually, there's a 3com. Whether we have more Linux kernel modules to enable by default. But that would be a second step. I'm slightly... Do we not have all AMD GPU stuff? Or is that... Why is that unused? That is bizarre. That would be another win-win of actually finding config marginalities. Okay, here is some Southern Islands and stuff not set. Why would that be? In my opinion, stuff like this, do we probably also want user pointer? Probably, maybe. Do we also want display controller HDCP? So much to making our firmware smaller just to enable more Linux kernel stuff to make the firmware larger again. That is funny, we don't have that anywhere enabled here. Here we have some. I also wonder whether we need this or should enable the Novo SVM stuff, whatever that is. Maybe we should check that. So yeah, that looked, maybe we should grab that professionally. And And so get a new coffee. You know what, let's grab it. Still need to find a sponsor for this video, so if you are a beverage manufacturer, leave me a comment below. This is not a paid advertisement yet. So div and grab like plus, we probably have none. Yeah, okay, minus, and then unused, and maybe that, and yeah, so that's all fine. Then we only need to mine or dash Linux. Let's do that install thing again. Compressed bridge disabled. What is this committed? Because that has a typo. Used, wait a second, what have I done? Let's see if that works. No, with the right build. And then, yeah, it looks on a glance. Yeah, we still need cross-compile versus native though. Let's see if that worked. $152, that looks about right. 4, let's save that in. It was new, right? That should have only used. Grab starting with used. Yeah. That appears to work. I would call this a success. We will of course see what regressions that causes. We also see the size instantly built. Actually, we don't need to change in there. 36. Yeah, Linux firmware. So yeah, I mean, this is a massive reduction, right? This was compressed 200. We certainly will find stuff that we later need, but I mean, this is reasonable, right? And that makes somewhat sense. It certainly makes, leave me in the comments below. I mean, even better would be to grab that the architecture could have that support so that we would ship like optional or future AMD or NVIDIA, but this is super difficult. You can't even, I wouldn't even like know where to start unless hard coding that or other means. I think this is good enough for now, I would say. There's always, yeah, software, hardware, there's ever change. There's always one more thing, right? So I think I'll leave it at that. That is probably 45 or so minutes. Enough spent on that non-issue. It makes, of course, as mentioned, the ISO like 200 megahertz, 200 megabytes smaller. That is certainly, we can also check that, create ISO. Actually, maybe we have it in the, no, yeah. x86-64. And that should be, what was the other? The other was a gigabyte. Yeah, Actually, do I still have the other? I copied it though. Yeah, it's below whatever. Probably it was 1.2 then, I guess. Yeah. That was a somewhat useful thing. Okay, LVM claim also still bootstrap. Maybe data didn't commit anything that didn't build. Let's commit package develop. Actually, why did data not... wait a second, we have there... Actually, we have a couple of changes. Did data not commit that? Apparently not. Maybe majorly didn't build somehow? Whatever the case might be. Also, we want to disable at least this GCC thing there. That is this other 432-bit default GCC configs. Why is this so? And then we have cling. Yeah, some stuff the data didn't build, the other stuff done by data. That was really, I need to polish it a little bit. There is, I will do that, you know, with some coffee. Not to drink all the expensive lemonade stuff away. Still need to conditionalize that on cross-build to mod in for the right thing. Hope you find this useful and learned something. As usual, there was also more main video. Otherwise, would be amazing if you should like subscribe. Maybe you want a Patreon or other GitHub sponsor and YouTube membership and stuff. And I yesterday copied the ISO. I will re-arsing this ISO, of course. And then there will also be finally freaking a UT2, most amazing cross-build and what did I call this? Adaptive freaking cross-compile enterprise production. Unbroken Linux there for you to play along at home.